I'm Alessandra Barrett, Senior Content Editor for JOC. I'm at our 2018 TPM conference with Ron Joseph, Chief Operating Officer and Senior Vice President for DCLI. Great to have you here again.
Thank you for inviting us. We look forward to this every year.
Ron, 2017 was a great year for you guys, very exciting. What's the recent news on the acquisition?
At the latter part of 2017, we acquired the TRAC domestic chassis business, and it actually closed in the middle of January this year. So we took on 73,000 53-foot chassis for the domestic business in the U.S. It's been really exciting because it's a different business and kind of complements our marine business that we have. And so it's been a pretty smooth transition, actually a very good transition. We've been operating it now for about almost 2 months now. And it's been very exciting and to get into that business. And now, combined, we have 215,000 chassis. And so from 2012, when the company was carved out from Maersk and formed, we've gone from 64,000 to 215, and now we're the largest chassis provider in the U.S.
The acquisition changed the composition of your fleet quite a bit. Any other changes to equipment ahead?
Yeah, we're still in our marine sector. We have been upgrading our fleet over the last 4 years to try to make it a higher quality asset, more of a premium chassis for our customers. So we've done that through converting a lot of the chassis to radial tires. So we're now up to over 30,000 chassis that we have converted over the last 4 years. We do about 120 every week throughout the country. And so now we've got about 30,000+ in the marine fleet. And then with the acquisition of the TRAC chassis for the domestic space, about 56,000 of those 73,000 had radial tires. So when you look at our fleet combined, we're approaching 90,000 chassis that have radial tires, and that'll give us really the largest fleet of radial tires and also LED lights. And so we've been setting up some refurbishment programs where we have been leasing to motor carriers chassis and refurbishing them. And we're also looking at our pooled fleets where we're also refurbishing chassis. So we're trying to really improve the quality of the chassis for our customers.
What are some of the biggest trends you're seeing in the intermodal space?
We've seen kind of an odd start to the year in the marine business, where we've kind of seen flat levels of business in some markets, but then in other markets they've grown substantially. The Midwest has been a real challenge for us because we've had significant growth in the Midwest, and we believe that's because there's a lot more cargo coming in from the West Coast that's going right to inland locations. So with on-dock rail now at all the terminals out in LA Long Beach, we see a lot more coming into the Midwest. And so Chicago, the Ohio Valley, all those markets have had substantial growth. The Gulf has also had some significant growth. And so when I say it's been a little bit of a challenge, typically we get a pretty big bump for Chinese New Year and before Chinese New Year, right around Chinese New Year. And it hasn't been as significant as we've seen in the past. But it's been strong. Business levels have been very strong.
Thanks for taking time to sit down with me today.
Sure, thank you. Thank you for having us again.
I've been speaking with Ron Joseph, Chief Operating Officer and Senior Vice President for DCLI.